Hi Taurus, this is your August 2020 general tarot forecast. So this is for Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, Taurus Rising, and Taurus Venus signs. So for example, if you're a Taurus Venus and you're watching this would definitely be a love reading for you, right? Or if romance, love, what you love, art, that type of thing. Otherwise, if you want a personal reading and you have a specific question, definitely get in touch with me. It's not that expensive to get your own private reading. Otherwise, this is general for Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus for Taurus. What do you need to know, guys? August 2020. Messages for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, August 2020. Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, August 2020. We have some swords here. Difficult situation. You have a broken heart. You may be moving in a new direction here, or have to make a decision, or you have a choice about going out on your own, or you may, and I'm reading it this way. Otherwise, you're looking back at a decision where you were free and sort of feeling like you made the wrong choice. So we'll see if it shows up in your reading right now. A broken heart could be a part of your soul's journey in August. We'll see if they show up in your reading, and that could have been a message for just one of you. It was a very specific message, but your soul definitely seems like it needs a new direction. Yeah, we have a loss. We have a regret and a loss there emotionally. All right, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, August 2020. All right, folks, let's get out your Celtic cross. As always, I will be getting 4 oracle cards to polish up your message today. So we do have strength. You're looking at some Libra energy there. Wow, and there's the devil. Okay, so let's just keep going. It's not the cards, guys. I am really just dramatic. There's nothing really wrong here. I just find it very interesting. So we're looking, here's another 2, and we're looking your mind is, you're not convinced. Whatever you keep telling yourself, whatever you keep doing, guys, you're not convinced. Here's another 8. Okay. All right, so we have 2 4s, we have 2 8s. If you count the 2 that jumped out, we have 2 2s. So we have what's called an exponential situation here for you, 2 4 8, right? That's exponential. So something is growing exponentially here for you, and something needs to come to an end because it is taxing. Remember those swords, the 3 of swords that jumped out with the 2 of, I believe it was swords. So the 2 of swords, 3 of swords, and the Fool at the very, very beginning. We have a lot of swords here for you guys. We have some stability over here. Very interesting to see a 4 in both of these positions, how you see yourself, how others see you. I just don't think you're convinced of something. And I think whether or not you're trying to convince someone else of it is neither here nor there. I think that you are not convinced of something. And I think this is causing a little bit of a quagmire for you because something is definitely keeping you up at night. So remember, this is a general reading, guys, and it's for the whole month. Now, this is sort of the underlying energy for the reading. I consider this card because it's from the bottom of the deck when I finished shuffling and laying your cards. So I consider this to be sort of the basket that you're sitting in currently, or this reading, I should say, is sitting in. And remember, this could just be a warning. It could be an idea, and it could be a path for you to take. When we're looking at this reading together, this by no means has to come true. By looking at this gives you an opportunity to play with some options you have, for example, or what you might be up against, or what might be working for you and against you, for example. So, like I said, if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh my gosh, like I'm doomed or something whenever you see a heavy card, it's not the case. This is just, it's like your astrology sign. It's like there are, say, strengths and weaknesses, right? So this is hopefully giving you an idea of what is sort of in your periphery. It's in your environment, maybe even people you could be surrounded by, and to help you out that way. But I digress. 9 of Swords is just a heavy card. It really doesn't matter where it sits, but it being the basket in which this reading sits, and because of, we saw very, very heavy cards jump out, The 3 and the 2 of Swords were in conjunction with that Fool, which is your soul. You may not be not only not convinced of what you're thinking and believing, you may be in pain. You may be in pain. You may be, and I'm like soul level pain. I'm not talking about you bumped your toe. I'm talking like there's a soul level pain here, guys. And I like to think that you're aware of it, but here's a really good indicator that you may not be, or you may be, say, busy denying it or busy trying to make excuses for it. God bless your heart if that's the case. We all try to get away from pain. It's the human condition. I'm not judging. I'm really not, but I do, period. I do think there is an opportunity here, however, to get to the root of something that is painful. And it's 10 to 1, it's in your mind, right? This is going on in your mind. This is an idea, conversation, or belief. But nonetheless, something is definitely keeping you up at night. Let us get into the 2 majors in the middle, right? The central focus of the month for you. This is the situation for the month, and this is what's crossing it. So we have, like I said, some Libra and then some Capricorn energy here. These could be individuals playing a part in the month of August for you. Taurus, you could have a Libra or Scorpio, rather Capricorn individual. For that matter, you could have some Scorpio energy or a person. Certainly as a wish or an outcome or advice, going deep, going emotionally deep, being able to be truthful about your emotions. This could be the war in your mind, actually, now that I think about it. Honest to God, guys, and I know I'm just making an assumption just by looking at all the cards together as sort of a snapshot, but this minute I saw everything out together here, particularly with this Scorpio, this deep, deep emotional energy, profound, intense energy, right? Scorpio, 8th house, sex, death, rebirth. Here as your advice card, you have to, I think there could be a point or a moment here in August where you have a decision, right? Remember, we see a 2 here, we saw the 2 jump out as a choice you need to make. I think it could just be time for you to say, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And then you gotta be willing to make up your mind, change your mind, go deep. And it will be the difference between what you're thinking and what you're feeling, because these are not in conjunction currently. And this is creating internal strife, right? And we see this here. And it's lowest common denominator. And you're definitely, there could be a level of obsession. There could be over-attachment. There could be bondage. You know, not the consensual fun kind. I mean the type where you feel as though you are in bondage to something and you can't get out. And I just feel like this is causing enormous suffering that I really feel, again, very strongly that you can help yourself out of. But by and large, even making the decision, I'm going to get out of this, is acknowledging this, like what it is that you're saying or thinking or believing, or whatever's keeping you up at night. I'll put it to you that way. Because here at the foundation of everything is a choice. A decision is necessary. We saw it jump out right with the broken heart, with the Fool. This is how I know this is a soul issue for you right now in this month, guys. Something's heavy for you. It's just what I'm seeing. It's just something heavy. But here at the foundation, remember, it's mirroring this 8 of Swords. So a decision around, what are you refusing to face? The 8 of Swords, very similar to the 9 of Swords. The 8 of Swords is a refusal, okay? It is almost kind of, I would even say it's almost like a lack of, and I'm not picking on you. I would say this for anyone, for any sign. I would say the 8 of Swords, particularly as a crowning, is a sense of, I don't want to face it. And this, again, it's a natural propensity for all of us to try to avoid pain. It's a human condition. But it is leading to this, right? By virtue of purposely avoiding something or not wanting to get to the root of what you're thinking, why you're thinking it, or a belief system, etc., it is leading to sleeplessness and a soul that feels kind of maybe hurt, maybe broken, right? What is going on here, Taurus? You really There could just be a point in time, there could be a watershed moment here for you guys. And I would even say, because it's your advice card, and I know we have some ways to go, but because of the heaviness, and I'm aware of that, I am going to suggest that if you acknowledge whatever you acknowledge is keeping you up at night, it's time to go deep with that, right? Because you have a choice. And the choice is really not even a choice anymore. The choice is like, am I going to look at this or am I going to keep avoiding this? That's your choice. But it's causing so much pain, so why would you continue avoiding it, right? I think this is really just sort of an impetuous. This is a catalyst this month for you to take charge. For you to say, I'm not going to let circumstances dictate when and how, etc. I'm not going to let my job or my community or my government or my lover or whatever it is dictate, etc. I'm going to take responsibility for how I think and what I'm doing and believing, my sense of bondage or obsession, my choice in the matter, because your recent past here is a lot of choices. You were doing maybe a lot of things, you were trying. I think there is a level of there could be resistance here, right? There could be so many options. There could be so many ways to go about something that it's just leading to trickery. It's leading to uneven ground. It's leading to, it looks like I've done this and this and this and this and this, or this person and this person and this person. You know, these are choices and decisions, but it's also disillusionment and it's fantasy. Because you can't pinpoint one thing, and this is your recent past. So there is an element of fantasy here in your heart, and the fantasy is not matching what's really going on in your mind. And this is where I feel like it's so important for you to be honest with yourself. I take everyone involved in whatever is keeping you up at night, everyone else, and take them out of the picture right now, Taurus, and it's just you. Because this is you. This is a pretty lonely card, guys. And it's the Eight of Swords, and it's mirroring this decision. Which way are you going to go? There's a balance, and it's old. This is an infinite, it's not on this card, but there's an infinity element to the Two of Pentacles. And it's juggling your emotional world. For what? For what? It's causing anguish. And it might even be deleterious to getting to the root of the problem. I feel like I'm being all dramatic, but I feel like you guys need to help yourself out of something here, because this pain situation, when I saw that soul, when I saw the Fool with the 2 and the 3 of Swords, I was like, oh God, you're in it. You're in it, and it's time to get out. It's time to get out. Life is too short for this type of pain, guys. It just really is. You're gonna choose to release yourself from this bondage. You're gonna get out of it somehow. Here in your near future is some Sagittarius energy, and this is a really philosophical card, but it's also really high spirited and it's very flirtatious, a lot of energy. So you could be dealing with a young Sag person, but because this is your energy, 10 to 1, this is just your energy, this is how you're feeling. Your near future involves taking action. This is exciting action. It could be considered to be flirty, but it is philosophically advantageous for you to move into a direction that's exciting here. There's excitement here. There's also mutable energy here. This is a mutable energy. It's Sagittarius ruled, 9th house. Religion, philosophy, travel, even sports could be a major component here in your near future as well, just in terms of terminology around that card. Here in the 7th position, how you see yourself, right? So while you see yourself as someone who is, and I'm using this as context, Swords energy, you do see yourself as someone who is mentally, say, well. You have your mental, say, foundations. There's also this sense of rest and recovery. This is a very stoic energy. Swords is heavy energy, right? No matter what swords, really. But this is sort of stoic. This is rest and recovery. So how you see yourself as someone who's just laying low, super chill. I'm not going to cause any waves. I don't know which direction to take, so I'm just not going to do anything type thing, right? So you're just super laying low, but rest and recovery could be a major component here for you, particularly within the mental realm. We're dealing with the world of mentality, ideas, and opinions here, belief systems. Here in the position, however, of how others see you is someone who's unwilling to budge. Right? So this person, again, another 4, very interesting, right? That exponential of the 2, the 4, and the 8, extremely interesting. I do not see that often. But While the fours can be considered stable, there is this sense of being unwilling to budge, unwilling to move. So this is the nicest, I would say, safest card in the swords. This is rest and relaxation, rest and recovery. But again, this is occurring because there's something, remember we saw the 2 and the 3 at the very beginning. So there is this, your soul needs a rest, okay? Your soul needs a break. How you see yourself. If you do feel like this and you're not treating yourself as though you need a rest and recovery, you need to get on that. You got to take care of yourself. I would even say, like, what are you sacrificing your mind and your heart for? What's the sacrifice about? Here with the, back to the how others see you, right? 4 of Pentacles, someone who just really has it together, someone who's pretty stable, but unwilling to budge. Not going to move. Not going to budge. Here in your hopes and fears, the 8 of Pentacles, this is apprentice energy. How far have we already come? We've already come so far. I just feel like there could be a level of fear here as well. Disillusionment, fear, fantasy, where you're unwilling to rock the boat. You just don't know what to do. You may not even know what questions to ask or how to develop communication at this time. But I do think it's in large part because you don't even know what to believe in your own mind. And I really, truly think this here, guys. You can convince anyone around you of anything, even if that was important to you, if you were convinced of it yourself. And I think this is what's causing part of this big internal struggle or, indecision for you. But the 8 of Pentacles is solid energy. It is apprentice energy. You're really, really good at something. You could be mastering something here that's very practical. So, don't give up. You've really become good at something. But like I said, with your advice or, and this is your hopes and fears, right? Your hopes and fears is we've come this far, why don't we keep going? And you might just be taking something for granted. You might not know this person or this concept or this belief well enough. There could be something that's missing here and you're sort of filling in the cracks, which is causing some confusion. Living in your own head could be adding to the situation as well. Maybe talking to a professional, talking to someone about your deep emotional world could be extremely helpful for you, particularly by the end of August. Guys, if you find yourself suffering mentally or even emotionally in the month of August at all, I would say it's time to go get help. It's just time for help. Whether this is a professional or someone who you consider a third party, someone who isn't too close to the situation, or you're going to reach out because that's your advice card. And the advice cards want you to go deep. It wants you to go deep. And it is in regard to 8th house, sex, death, and rebirth. It is transformation. Something needs to be transformed, in order for you to get away from this heavy 8 and 9 of swords. So let's get your oracles for you. I think I've said enough about your reading. I will finish kind of with the main reading by saying there's nothing horribly difficult or upsetting with it. It's just kind of what I said from the start. I do see, oh gosh, there's a lot there, no. I do see from the very first 3 cards that jumped out, I did have a sense from that this reading was going to take a turn around you helping yourself with something because your soul is definitely being affected. Your soul is in pain. That's what I saw. Maybe I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. It is a general reading, right? Okay, this is wild. I'm using 4 different decks and what deck am I on here? This is crazy. I never see that. Let's see what this one says. Anyway, we have 2 soulmate cards. So that's pretty cool. Definitely has to do with the soulmate situation. Doesn't necessarily have to be a love affair. Yeah, deep knowing. I think you know, right? I think you know. And maybe that's part of sort of steering away from it or not wanting to come to terms with it or sort of, oh no, I just need a break. That whole sort of thing from it. Or, oh, I don't know, I'm so confused. You might even, and God forbid this be the case, but if you're at the point where you're making stuff up to try to get away with not coming to terms with something, then like shame on you, right? You got to do something about it. You got to do something about it, guys. Take action here. We do have an action card, which is really nice. But help yourself out. You got one life. This is one incarnation, right? There's no time to waste. If you're unhappy, if you're miserable, if you're upset and something's keeping you up at night, And it has to do with your deep emotional world, guys. Let's get it, right? Let's get it. It's time to get what you really want and deserve out of life. It could even be you're leveling up and you need to let go of something. We have deep knowing. I don't see this card very often, but it is extremely powerful. I would consider this in terms of major arcana from the Tarot. In relation to this deck, I would consider this to be the High Priestess. Not identical in language and energy, obviously, but in terms of energetic spirit, I would consider this High Priestess. So you know, there's a deep knowing here, intellectually, emotionally, psychologically, psychically, maybe even in your dream world, maybe even in, we saw that Fool jump out at the very beginning. There's like a soul. There's a part of you that is somehow rejecting something that you're currently involved in. Even, and maybe that's part of it too. Like you've built something so far and it's just, you're so good at it. Maybe you're like, you know, shoulder deep into something and feel like you can't get out, or you feel like there's no escape, you feel like there's a bondage and you're trapped. I'm telling you, unless you are locked in a cage and or there's a gun to your head, you are free. You're far freer than you believe you are. So you got to get out of that mind frame here and help yourself out, because you have a deep knowing, you know that something's wrong, and you know it can be fixed. Even if it's like, how do I fix it? Okay, well now you're going to go in process of how to fix something. But deep knowing is knowledge, which comes from within. Here's our 2 soulmate cards, guys. This is crazy. Soulmate from 2 decks. Yes, this is your soulmate. These are romance related. So if this is a Venus Taurus reading for you, I would say this is definitely a love situation for you. You're going to want to be honest and fair with this person and yourself. But it could just be a family member. Soulmates can be family. They can be friends. They can even be animals. So it could be a soulmate situation. Ultimately, it's just someone who is very, very close to your heart, okay? Someone who could even be from your childhood, or bring out a really positive, childlike, as opposed to childish aspect about yourself. This sense of awe and who helps bring this out in you, right? The fun, the enjoyment, the philosophy, the travel, the excitement in life, the fire in life. And here's action. Here's where we're looking at antelope. You're going to take action. So good luck with everything, Taurus. I really hope this was helpful overall. All I hope is that this is helpful for you. Comment below if you have a second. I love hearing from you guys. And like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.